The greatest wonder in the world. What is it? Is it the dream house, the dream car, the dream job, or the Santa Claus cookies that are there every year on the kitchen countertop? Those cookies are going to be pretty hard to beat. But this wonder, there's nothing that equals it on earth. And there's nothing greater than it in heaven. What is it? Well, according to Father O'Sullivan, the greatest wonder in the world is the Mass. And why is that? Because in every Mass, Christ himself is crucified and dies for us. It's not a remembrance. It's an event that happens each and every time Mass is held. When we think about that, it makes sense. You know, let's see where I can put you guys. There are many stories in Father Paul O'Sullivan's book, The Wonders of the Mass, that just testify how important Mass is, how valuable it is. And one of the stories he talks about is King Louis of France. I might have mispronounced his name, so I apologize for anyone out there. But King Louis of France, for those of you that know, had one of the greatest kingdoms that ever held power in France. And he worked as hard as any man at that time. But he managed to hear Mass 2 to 3 times a day. Not a week, not a month, a day. And the people close to him pretty much told him, you're overexerting yourself. Why are you going to Mass so often? But you know what he told them? What he pretty much told them was that if he were indulging in pleasure, they wouldn't go to him and say the same thing. But because he's going to Mass, all of a sudden he's going too often. And there was something else he said that was powerful. What he says is there's nothing he could do on earth that could grant him, himself, as many blessings as there is hearing Mass. And not only for himself, but for his kingdom. So by hearing Mass, not only was he benefiting from it, but his entire kingdom. Now let me remind you, that was the greatest, one of the greatest, and if not, it could have been one of the greatest ever kingdoms of France. That's how powerful Mass is. And there's so many other stories like this. They're very beautiful stories. And by the way, this video is not sponsored. I'm not winning anything by recommending this book. I'm only sharing what I've found to be very helpful. It talks about people who are in business. There were 2 friends. One of them was prospering and the other was struggling. And both were working just as hard until the buddy just said, what in the world is this guy doing, pretty much? Because I'm doing everything he is. What's the difference? So he manages to go talk to his friend. And what he finds is his friend pretty much tells him, I'm doing everything you're doing. The only thing you're not doing that I'm doing is I'm going to Mass. And hearing that, his friend started to attend Mass, and his business started to prosper. So those are just a few stories that, 2 stories that I brought up that just testify how powerful Mass is. And I think in this world, for some reason, for whatever reason, especially for young people like me, we often overlook it. It was a recent saint who passed, Saint Acutis. He pretty much talked about heaven being the Mass being the highway to heaven, his ticket to heaven. And that if we were to understand the value of the Mass, there would be no room for everyone to attend. And so it's something to reflect upon, But I really do think this video can help open people's minds to the truth. And to help people, this can help people not only spiritually, but also on this earth, But as I reflect, this is something that I think the world needs more of. If we could get more people to attend Mass, not only would it change our lives, but I think it could change the world easily. And the last thing I'll leave you with is this. There's a quote here from the book, The Wonders of the Mass, that says, it's towards the end of the book, remember, dear reader, that the day you hear Mass is worth 1,000 days to you, that all the labors and works of a day or a week or a whole year are nothing in comparison with the value of one Mass. I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you guys for watching. All credit and glory be to God. If this helped you out, stick around because more like these are coming. And God bless.